Hello everybody, my name is Karen Weinman and I'm from Pathways to Inner Mastery, which is a website that has been set up, a membership site which has been set up for people to come and join so that they can connect with online community, to have discussions and debates around the different topics around spirituality, around transformation, around energy healing, around healing itself, all kinds of things. It's also a place where we have a library, where we have courses if people want to learn more, all kinds of delicious topics. And as I introduce you to this site, this is actually the fourth installment of 7, where I'm discussing the different pathways to inner mastery, the different pathways that we can take to being more conscious in our everyday lives. Because of course, not only are we then making ourselves more conscious, but we are being more conscious with our planet, which I think needs our help as well. So the next level is the spiritual level, and for all of us we're going to have a different definition of what spirituality is to us. There are as many definitions as I assume there are human beings, and so where I'd like to start is just to say first of all that I believe we're a spirit having a human experience and not necessarily the other way around, although I do think it's important to have a balance of spirituality within our lives, and that it is definitely a path to being more conscious. But I think at the same time we need to be careful that we remember that we're here to have a human experience and not to be caught up in spirituality and the higher dimensions and other realms that are out there, and we forget to be grounded and connected and present with our everyday lives, because I believe that's why we've come into this lifetime. So I suppose one of the easiest ways that any of us can relate to beginning to be more conscious on a spiritual level is when we go into nature. I have no doubt that everybody will understand the importance of nature in our lives, and if you haven't experienced that, then there we go, your call to action. Go and find out what that feels like. And connection with nature can be many things. It can be being near water, it can be near trees in our gardens, out in the natural areas of our world. It can be our animals around us. But I'm quite sure most of us will say, whether it's after a holiday, whether it's a day out, whether we are outside doing something or not, no matter what the weather, that we feel more connected to something bigger than us, and that we always come back feeling more refreshed and more in the present with our minds and with our consciousness. So nature is a wonderful force, I think, no matter what our belief systems are. The other, which I think all of us can relate to on a spiritual level, are our dream states, you know, when we go to sleep at night. Because when we wake up, yes, we can have a lot of dreams where it is just working through the day, it might be stress working its way out, but I think for many of us, at some point in our life, we've had dreams where they have guided us, where they've given us insight into a challenge. And I think the more we scratch the surface of our dreams, well, I know I definitely can say that the more I scratch around a dream after I've woken up, the more guidance I find and the more insight into what's going on in my life and how I can go forward. And once we go into that world of dreams, we can actually start even asking questions and invoking when we go to sleep what we're tapping into. I know that we could have an entire course on this, because it's not just subconscious. I do think we go into the spiritual realms within us in some way to open up communication. So dreams are another quite an important part of that process, although for not all of us dreams are the way. Like I said, for some of us it's nature, and for some of us it might be something as simple as meditation, as doing yoga, having our own spiritual practices, whatever that might be, going to a place of worship, touching, experiencing, connecting with what is sacred to us. No matter what that is, it is the spiritual realm that takes us forward into being more conscious of who we are and who are we on another level, and that's quite a beautiful process. So for people who are working that out, to not leave out this level, because I think it is a very powerful one. For people who do suppress it, eventually I find that the universe, spirit, please use whatever name works for you, starts to give us signs in our everyday lives. And when we can start to wake up to hear what is being said around us, when we look at what we're attracting in our lives, there's this magical force that is not only within us, but that is all around us, and that is working with us to help us be more conscious. And that is quite a magical process. And for some of us that may take a while, and for some people it can be quite an awakening that happens very quickly. We each have our own timing, and of course it's the realm where we have to trust that there is a process unfolding in the order that it needs to, and of course going with the flow. These are all things we start to learn when we start to open up our spirituality. And of course it also triggers a cleansing, because we've all been brought up with certain belief systems, certain ways society is, and questioning that I think is a very important one. And I think that somewhere in our lives we will be faced with it, and we'll make a choice whether to go that route or not. So if you're someone who's trying to be more conscious, or maybe you haven't thought about it before, and listening to this has got you thinking, you know, what is spirituality to you? Where is it in your life? How often do you slow down to, first of all, not only think about it and read about it and learn about it, it's also something that's not that easily spoken about unless you belong to a specific group. Hence the online community that comes with Pathways to Inner Mastery. It's an opportunity where people can come together and discuss the delicious topics around spirituality, but also that we can be very conscious about it. We can start asking the questions. We can actually invite the universe, God, the divine, to come in and interact and show us the way, helping us to learn how to surrender, a very powerful quality, but opening up a very rich world, a very rich existence where we are all one, and discovering what that actually means. So as you can hear, I think the spiritual level alone has a lot of delicious topics, a lot of place for debate, for learning, for growing, for finding our connection to each other. So if this video has opened up an eye for you, it has got you thinking, or if this is a topic that really interests you and you'd like to meet like-minded people, then please come and join me. I'm at pathwaystoinnermastery.com, and maybe it's something you want to set as an intention for the next week. Start watching and thinking and exploring what spirituality is for you, and let me know how that goes for you. I would love to hear more what it means for you, what your definition is. If you would like to interact, either come to the website, or I am on Twitter, which is Pathways to Mastery. That's the number 2, Pathways to Mastery. Otherwise, I'm on Facebook. That's Karen Weinman, Pathways to Inner Mastery. Otherwise, the website, Pathways to Inner Mastery. So I look forward to meeting you, and I'd like to leave you with this phrase: dare to be conscious, and I hope to meet you soon. Thank you. Bye for now.